Hi. Just got a text. Hold on a second. Charlotte's Totes posting me Private Practice Season 1. Very excited. So yeah, it's my day off today. Hence why I look like a tramp and I'm still in bed. I have the house to myself today because my girlfriend's in Wales doing some training for Labour students. But yeah, I've had a relatively interesting week. As of all the rioting going on over here. Didn't really get caught up in it too much. Like there was loads in Manchester, but we live quite far out of the city centre, so and I wasn't working. Luckily, the first day it happened, um, the shop I work in was right by all the ones that got smashed up, but we were alright actually, and it's a real blessing that we were, and that no one got more hurt and all that kind of stuff. This is the one thing that annoyed me so much about it all, was that everyone was just so like, it's just so pointless and useless. The rioting means nothing, and all these young people, and all they want is, free TVs and stuff. And I totally get that, like the reason behind all the rioting and the justice of it all was totally diluted by the time it came up to Manchester and Birmingham and Liverpool and things. But like people have to realize that it totally was happening for a reason, and the people who were rioting because they had it was an expression of theirs, and it was something that they really needed to let out, and it was an anger, and it was a just anger, with like the state of the country, and I just wish that people had have been slower to judge and slower to sort of make comment and make prats out of themselves publicly, being like, it doesn't matter, these people are ridiculous. Um, I think it was wrong in part, and like people's livelihoods and things got damaged, but there are already so many people in this country whose livelihoods will no longer exist, basically, and that cannot be ignored. But anyway, soapbox moment over. My day off, and I'm gonna do lots of things today. Been up for a long time already because I got up with Theo this morning. Just to let you know what I'm doing here. My iTunes, it just will not work at all. No matter how many times I like install it and reinstall it and do all sorts of crazy things, it completely will not work. And I want to redo my music today. I want to like organize my music, and I can't do that if iTunes won't open. I don't understand. Anyway, so today's plans. This morning, I added a little to my list of movies that I want to watch or buy. I'll show you it here. Bam. They're all just like, I just googled and researched some movies and looked at trailers, and like I don't not love big blockbusters, and I'm all for Harry Potter and all the ones that everyone sees in the cinema, but I do really love the sort of more indie movie, and there's something about watching them that inspires me so much more to write, which is what I do want to do, and I want to write my own movies and TVs and documentaries and all sorts of things, but it is those indie movies that sort of have that like the topics and the themes that are maybe not taboo, because there's not much really that's taboo these days, but are just a bit more like more rough around the edges, and are more things that people don't want to watch, or at least don't don't obviously want to watch in the cinema. Things like like family troubles um and like mental health problems and LGBT issues and all that kind of stuff. Movies that address those like they're just everyday things that we think about and talk about all the time, as they should be. They're the ones that really make me want to write my own movies. But yeah, I watched Easy A for the first time, the whole way through anyway, this week, and it was so good. And we watched it not last night but the night before, and I just did not realize how funny it was. start to finish. How hilarious and not just foxy the Emma Stone is. And like it got us talking the whole way through it about the whole like, is that what school's really like? Do people really judge people and be like, oh my goodness, she's a whore, she's such a skank? And my girlfriend went to an all girls school back home, and she was saying that it wasn't really like that, and people didn't like fully judge you for who you were sleeping with and that kind of thing. And like I didn't know in my school, like it kind of was like no one was really bothered with like who was having sex and things, but depending who it was that these rumors were about, it was very much like that's a scandal and oh my goodness, I can't believe that's happening, and or it was like quietly ignored and not talked about. But like I don't know, it's one of those things like the whole like high school setting of movies and things. I'm sure there's people who would sort of like, oh, those are just for teenagers, those movies, and as you grow up you should be watching movies about like boring people going to work or whatever, I don't know. But it's that age group and it's that setting that does completely fascinate me, and it's sort of like the kind of age group and setting that I always want to write for, because it's something about people between the ages of like 14 and sort of 19, 20, where that's where all the honesty is, and that's where people are so real and so honest, and it's where all the issues begin really in your life. It's when you start sleeping with people, it's when you start maybe questioning your sexuality, it's when you start to sort of look around and realize the world is not as rosy and peachy as you were maybe brought up to believe, and it's where you sort of start to realize who you want to be in the world and what you want to do, and it's where you make the most mistakes as well, I think. And that's the sort of the interesting part. It's sort of like the mistakes you make are what tell the most stories, maybe. I don't know. Very philosophical today. But yes, I'm gonna go back to doing my thing today, and yeah, it's been a pleasure as always.